you someone! All you had to do was work these last few years. You could be a millionaire. You could retire. You could save your mother from being coarsened in the labor market. You could prolong the life of your loved ones with medical care. You could literally keep your parents alive longer, and you still didn't try. You still couldn't be motivated. Extra years of consciousness for the people who birthed you is somehow not as important as jerking off on Pornhub, it seems, to fucking scumbag losers like you. And you wonder why I end up in a position where I think, do poor people even ever deserve to win? And you don't feel any shame in your fucking heart? There's nothing bothering you deep inside? You sleep just fine? Everything's okay, is it? It's all, oh well, doop-de-doo. The fuck is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't understand.
I knew people who weren't that talented, but they were just at the gym every day. They just ran further, they just trained harder, and they just ended up being world champions. That's how it gets. You cannot beat consistency. The person who does what they're supposed to do day after day, regardless of how they feel, is going to be the person who wins. The people who are the most successful in the real world are the people who wake up every day and work. If you're the person who wakes up, does work, is fantastic at it, but then takes 3 days off, you're going to lose. They say that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and it's completely true. You have to be consistent. You have to decide. Are you the kind of person who wants to make a lot of money in this life and live a life of freedom? Or are you the kind of person who wants to look back when he's 30 on his 20s or 40 on his 30s and look at that decade and go, what did I do with that decade? Well, I didn't get rich. I didn't travel the world and live like they do in Tate Confidential. What did I do? Well, I had a day off here, a day off there, a bunch of nothing days amalgamate into this decade of nothingness, and you're just wasting your time. If you want to win, you need to be consistent. You don't need to be the smartest, not at all, but you have to be the guy who's there day after day. And I will guarantee you right now, IQ has nothing to do with how successful you'll be as a real world student. What is going to determine how successful you're going to be is, are you there every single day? Are you doing what you're supposed to do day after day?
Andrew, can you motivate me? Why weren't you motivated when you stood a chance? Why weren't you motivated when I spoke before? Why must reality slap you in the face so brutally for you to wake up? You're the kind of dickhead who drives his car on the ice and slides all over the place and won't slow down. It's only when you hit a fucking tree and lose a leg do you sit there like a pirate, a dumb pirate with a wooden fucking leg. You sit there and go, I might slow down next time. You only learn lessons the hardest possible way. And here I am, respected as one of the greatest orators in the English language, trying my best to convince you to win. I'm not trying to convince you to commit suicide. I'm not trying to convince you to die. I'm not trying to convince you to lose. I'm trying to convince you to do something you should already want to fucking do, which is win. And I can't seem to get you to take action and move and work. Listen, please. I need to get through to you. Let me put the guys, I need to get through to you. Please listen. When you watch our videos, I don't want you to be happy for us. I don't want you to sit there and go, that would be cool. I want you to watch our videos and think, how do I get where they are? How do I get involved in that life? How do I get next to the Tates or build a replicable life for myself and my team? How How do I reach that echelon of masculine capability? Look around yourself. Look at the room you're in now. Look at the woman you're next to. Look at the car you drive. Look at all of it. Say, am I happy with this? Do I want something else? Do I want more? How do I get what they have? They are two brothers from the bottom who were broke with nothing, who have everything now. How did they do it? How do I do it? I'm not showing you these videos for you to have a fucking happy, fun time. I'm showing you these videos to fucking motivate you and explain to you there is an entire version of reality that you have yet to crack.
And you need to get very comfortable and very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari with a full tank of gas, and a lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they would say the drive is too far away. Quitters, they don't have the discipline. You can tell them exactly how to do it. You can give them the mechanism to get there, but they don't have the discipline to complete the drive.
There's a common thread there, and there's a common thread, which is if you're disciplined and you have willpower, that can be applied to absolutely anything, right? If you have unlimited willpower and you can always open up a can and smear it on to whatever you're doing, you're going to do well. So I had willpower when I was playing chess. I had willpower when I was kickboxing to make sure I trained as hard as humanly possible to become a 4-time world champion. It's all about self-control and self-discipline and making sure that you are the center of your own universe. And a lot of people agree with this, and a lot of people say this, and they go, yeah. But it's very rare to meet someone who's serious about it, in my experience. If you're truly serious about brute willpower, you could achieve anything. Like, you could do absolutely anything. That's what it's all about. So I've just had the same universal stubbornness and refusal to fail. And anything I've ever applied it at, I've done very well with for that reason. I was extremely disciplined as a child. I had a very disciplined upbringing playing chess, and I could take that upbringing and self-discipline and apply it to myself with everything else I've done, fighting and webcam studios, and now I own casinos and mentorships, et cetera, and I make millions and millions of dollars, and people look at me and go, oh, but how? And I'm like, what do you mean how? It's do the right things every day like you're supposed to, on time, every day, and life usually comes together. I really believe that. People want to be constantly motivated. Oh, I don't feel motivated. Listen, if you're not motivated to go to the gym, and that has resulted in you being obese, suffering health adversity, so you're now damaged your health. On top of that, you're less attractive to females. On top of that, your energy levels are lower. If you really need motivation to just lose weight and live a life worth living, then there's something wrong with you. I train every single day and I'm never motivated, but I'm disciplined. I never wake up and think, yeah, I want to train. I've been training my whole life. I'm bored of it. But it's something that has to be done, right? So the idea of entertainment, the idea of motivation, these things are completely detrimental to discipline. People come to me all the time and say, how do I get motivated? I say, you don't, you get disciplined. I don't care if you feel like doing X. You must do X or you will stay a loser. So do you want to be a loser or do you want to do X? It has nothing to do with motivation. So a lot of these things, people are constantly distracted. And I think a lot of the things that are taught and told about discipline are actually detrimental to a disciplined mindset as a whole. But discipline's a key component. There's no other way out. There is no other way out. That is it. It's something you have to do, and you're going to have to do things you don't want to do on time every single day, or you're going to suffer the consequence. That's how life works.
I don't even look at it as goals, because goals are something that you put on the wall to motivate yourself, right?
Right.
Goals are motivating. So if you want to buy a car, you put the car on the wall and it motivates you to go to work to get the car. So that's a goal. Goals are for motivation. I don't work on motivation. I work on discipline. So I don't have a set goal. I just get up and do what I know I'm supposed to do. I don't work to try and afford that car. I work because I'm supposed to work. And then I can already afford that car and another one and another one and a boat and a plane and a house and another house and a land. And then I just work. I do my work. That is my duty as a man, is my duty to God. I train in the gym. It is my duty to God. I do my duties to God. I fulfill my duty. I'm an old school gentleman of honor and respect. I do what I'm supposed to do. I don't have any particular set goals. Anything I decide to do or want to do, I can do instantly. And if I can't do it instantly, I can do it pretty fucking quickly. I don't need goals in that old traditional sense. I do what I'm supposed to do.
Wow.
It's not a matter of how I feel or how I'm motivated. If I was depressed, it's impossible. But if I was depressed, my life would be, and the day-to-day activities would be exactly the same as if I was ecstatically happy. You wouldn't be able to see a difference. I'd be up at the same time. I'd be in the gym the same. I'd be doing the same shit. Those are my duties my duties to God. How I feel has nothing to do with it. Completely unrelated. How I feel is unrelated to my duties to God. They don't change based on how I feel. They're the same. And they will be completed because I refuse to fail God or my bloodline.
There's a version of you that never sleeps in, never skips training, never wastes time. There's a version of you who never fails. It is waiting for you. Genuinely ask yourself a question, you at home. If you had done those things for the last 2 years, you never skipped a training, you never wasted time, you never scrolled TikTok, you never sat aimlessly on the internet typing in garbage, never played video games, you never wasted time. You never skipped training. You were training every single day. You never slept in. You were never lazy. There's this version of you. Imagine the person you would be. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you. And the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, my only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's Cube and fail. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things. And he is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We are not from advantaged beginnings. But I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. That's what I knew I had to be. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? If you cannot force yourself to train when you do not want to train, if you cannot force yourself to work when you don't want to work, if you can't force yourself to not log into Pornhub or force yourself to eat right, how can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person if you cannot control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? The only people who get to live their lives based on how they feel are women and children. Children can cry because they feel like crying, as can a woman. A woman can start an argument because she feels like arguing, as can a child. A man must do what he is supposed to do irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity, is discipline. If you do not have the discipline to dedicate yourself to anything, you are going to fail and be crushed by the people who can. If you only go to the gym when you feel like going to the gym, you're never going to be as strong as the people who go to the gym when they don't feel like going to the gym. That is a reality of life. So, I train every single day. I've actually heard from some people saying, you overtrain. And I explained to them, one, I don't believe in rest. I'm not you. I'm not pussy and I'm not broke like you are, Mr. Fitness Trainer, standing around the gym teaching people for $50 an hour. I don't need to listen to you. Secondly, I don't train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it. So I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man. And it is more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? Discipline is absolutely essential for success.
The only shortcut to life is to never miss a day, because sometimes you get lucky.
And you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every day. Because when you've come from the absolute bottom to the absolute top, and you've done it all off of your own back, and hard work and dedication, and never missing a day, one, because of compounding interest, and two, if you don't try every day, you might miss your lucky day. And that's what people don't understand. If you never miss a day and you never don't try and you're always on time, was I late today? No, on time, and you try and improve every aspect of your life, and you're a professional, and you try and make sure that you analyze your decisions, you give yourself feedback, you don't make mistakes, you're not lazy. If you try and you make it to the top, because you look at the people down below and you're like, well, why didn't you try? I did. Oh, I did too. No, you didn't. That's a lie. Now you're lying to me, and that annoys me. And you catch yourself being very elitist, and this is what's scary about it, because I'm from a Luton council estate, and now I have all this money. But if I meet somebody who's truly broke, I'm not talking about you not have hundreds of millions, but if I meet somebody who's broke, I think they're an idiot. And I catch myself going, is that bad? Am I elitist? Or do I sit down now and I just say, no, I started lower than you and beat you. How are you poor? You're lazy.
Okay, fair enough. I was going to say, why would you say if they're an idiot if you were once in that position as well?
No, I was, but I got out.
Most people misunderstand what trying means, because it's actually extremely lazy for you as a person to give up and work a 9-to-5 for the rest of your life, as opposed to trying to find a way to escape. It's actually lazier. It takes more laziness to go to work every single day for the next 40 years than it would be for you to sit and use your mind and try and find a way to escape. You say, I'm not lazy, I work every day. But you are lazy because you can't be bothered to think outside of your box. That is laziness. I can't even call it constructive laziness. It's active laziness. I'm not lazy, I work really hard. Yes, you do work really hard because you were too lazy to find a way to not work hard. So you're lazy. It's actually very doable for anybody who will pay attention. I've said this before. There's only 3 reasons why anybody on the planet is broke in the modern world. If you're born in the West and you have access to the internet, which you do because you're watching this, and you're a fully functioning adult, there's only 3 reasons why you do not have everything you've ever wanted. All of your dreams have not come true, which means you're either stupid, you're lazy, or you're arrogant. Stupid is the smallest category. I don't think many of you are too stupid to make money. If I were to sit down and say, do this on repeat, most of you could do it on repeat until money was generated. Stupid is a very small subset, maybe 15 to 20% of people. Then you have the lazy people, who are the people who don't want to work that hard, or they're quitters, or they already have a job, so they think they'll be okay if they just wait long enough and save enough money and get a mortgage, and they're just going to waste their time out of laziness. They're too lazy to think differently than they currently think, and I'd say that's 30 to 40% of people. But most people, the majority, the largest group, are the arrogant. Because a lot of people are so brutally arrogant that even if I sit down, or if somebody more successful than them sits down and explains to them how the world works, they don't want to listen. Please understand, I've had conversations with people I went to school with. I went to the same school as them. We grew up in the same area. We had the same education. And they're the same age as me. So we had the same exact number of minutes alive, with same exact hours in the day, 24 hours every single day for X amount of years. And they don't have a fraction of my success. And they ask me, hey man, yeah, you really did well. So how did you pull it off? And I'll start telling them what I did and what they should have done or how they could improve their situation. And instead of going, thank you for wasting your time, Lord Andrew, on me, the peasant, they instead reply something like, yeah, but you know, it's different because now I moved to Surrey and I live in Reading now. Some garbage that has nothing to do with anything. Would I walk into Mozart's music school, and when he tells me how to compose a beautiful, timeless piece of classical music, tell him, yeah, but I'll do it. I wouldn't do it that way, or I can't do it that way. The arrogance is astonishing. It's truly astonishing how arrogant people are. When somebody has the things you want, you should listen to them. Even if you have a point of view, even if you think it couldn't work for you, or you want to do it differently or whatever because of who you are, etc. Even out of basic respect, you should just listen. Because to sit and go, have any kind of opinion or any kind of reply, you're not qualified to have one. You're not qualified because you don't have the things they have. You're talking on a subject you don't understand. The arrogance of people is brutally amazing.
You could take 150,000 of these people travel back in time and stand them in front of their ancestors. And their ancestors who fought fucking saber-toothed tigers or escaped the Mongol hordes or managed to dodge bombs in the Second World War. All the shit they went through just for this fucking cretin to be born. And to look at him, look at who he is, listen to his life story, listen to what he does on a day-to-day basis, and they would feel nothing but fucking shame. Your ancestors did all that shit, all that struggling to survive, hunting and gathering, fucking avoiding enemies, anything it took, dying at age 30 from a tooth infection, all the crap they went through just for you to be born so you could smoke weed and jack off. That's what your ancestors died for. That's what they worked so hard for. That's who you are. That's the end of your fucking bloodline. Do you feel no shame? It's fucking shameful. My ancestors will look at me and think everything we went through was fucking worth it. Your ancestors will look at most of these people, their ancestors look at them and feel nothing but fucking disgust.
It's true.
It's fucking true. It's disgusting. And they should look in the mirror, look deep in their own eyes and say, yes, I'm fucking disgusting. I can change this. That's the beauty about being a man. If you're disgusting, you can change it. That's the beauty. There's nothing stopping you changing it.
You're right.
And you must accept it. You must accept it first. Most of these people, what they do is they hang around with other disgusting people, and then they're a little group of disgusting people, and they think, well, I'm not disgusting, everyone's disgusting, and this is normal, and it's normal to be a fucking jerk off. Not in my world, it isn't. This is when I was making jokes earlier about predators and prey. In my world, I'm in a world of predators. It's not normal to be a fucking jerk off in my world.
Damn.
There are duties that men must fulfill, whether to God or to your bloodline.
Anyone who knows me will tell you, if I'm awake, I'm working. I'm awake, I'm working. The second I wake up, I'm on my laptop. The second I go to sleep. First thing I do when I wake up is check my phone. First thing and if I even do anything fun, I kill all the fun because I make it work. Oh, we film it, did this, in this scene. Filming having fun is not having fun, ever. So I make it work. So I only enjoy work. I like to work. I like to feel proud of myself. I don't want to be happy. I want to feel proud of myself. So I rest when I sleep, sure. If I'm ultimately tired and need a few extra hours in bed every once in a while, yeah, okay, I'll do that. But I never just have a day. Tristan, Pac-Man, never said I need a day. I just need a day off. Have you ever heard me say I need a day off? No. Ever. I'm training in the gym in between sets. It's like I work all the time. I think I've always understood that you can outwork people. You can truly outwork people, and you can outwork a lot of things about yourself as well. You can outwork a lot of negative emotions. You can outwork a lot of problems in your mind. Like people sit and say, "Oh, I'm unhappy" or "I'm sad." You don't have time. How do you find the time in the day to sit around thinking about being sad? Like, you have shit to do. Like I don't have time to sit around and contemplate how I feel because I'm busy. So how do you even have time for that? I've had people sit and give me long trotes on how they feel. And I'm like, where did you even come up with this shit? How long have you been sitting around just fucking thinking about nothing? I don't have time for it. A plane defies gravity with speed.
Momentum.
That's all it does. If a plane stops moving forward, what happens? It falls down, right? So if you can do the same thing with yourself and your mentality and your problems and everyone else around you, you can outwork everybody. So I've always understood outworking people. And I also think that it's very easy to work hard and win when you're already winning. It's hard to get there. It starts off harder. It's harder to find a way to make money and work all the time and deal with all the bullshit and be at the bottom of whatever industry you're in and not have any reputation, whatever. But if I were to say to all of you right now, for every minute you body spar, you get $1,000. I guarantee we'd still be out there right now sparring.
My life is just work. But that's boring, right? But that's the truth about it. I'm on my laptop all day, every day. I have 18 hours a day of screen time. I'm either training or I'm working. Do I know some women? Yes, of course. Do I have some fancy cars to drive? Yes. Can I go to the odd restaurant? Yes. But the majority of the time, all I do is work because that's what I enjoy to do. I don't think most things outside of work are as entertaining as the work itself. That's why I'm successful.
And the reason nobody has discipline anymore is because it's not taught. Discipline isn't taught. And the idea of being disciplined is seen as negative. And we also live in a world where everything and everybody is vying for our attention. Everything.
There's ads everywhere. YouTube happens quickly. Kids are being raised with iPads. Like when I was a kid or you were a kid, we had a coloring book. Now they got flashing lights and little video games. Like how do you think you're going to keep his attention as he grows old? He's been entertained by some of the best software developers in the world permanently for since the second he could pick up an iPad. So your attention's very, very difficult, and that's what discipline is really. It's the ability to stay focused on one thing for a long period of time. And I think most people don't realize how bad their attention span is or how much discipline they lack until they really start to suffer from it. And that's what will happen, especially as a man. I can't say as a woman because I'm not a woman, but as a man, if you don't have the ability to knuckle down and focus on something for a long time, life's going to punish you. Sooner or later, life's going to wake you up, you know? And the reality of mastery and the reality of success is that it's not really a glamorous story. Like, how do you become the best boxer in the world? You do the same thing over and over for 15 years, jab, cross, hook. Like it's boring, you know, but that's what discipline is. So the idea that a lot of people want to be constantly entertained, I want to be entertained, that's boring. Well, that's why you need discipline.
I haven't missed a day of work in 10 years. I've never had a day off. Maybe I've had days where I've gone driving in the supercars and I've only done 2 hours work instead of 8 hours. I've never had a day where I thought, fuck it, I'm not going to work. Never once ever. My screen time on my phone is 9 hours a day, every fucking day. I do not miss a day of work ever. If I'm the most viral Googled man on the earth, it does not change a fucking thing. I am working. Earth must be conquered. The matrix must be attacked and shattered. I do not stop. I will not quit. I will not surrender. I am not that person. I have zero interest in rest or respite. It's bullshit for cowards. Even the idea of resting aggravates my mind. I got shit to do. Like, I can't even contemplate the idea. People say to me, if I had your money, Tate, I'd just go chill. That's why you'll never have my money, dummy.
Well, here's
you
my
just want to go do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I want to do shit.
I want you to understand how my mind works. My core principle is endless work, endless attack and assault. That is how you win in the end. You never give up and you endlessly persevere. It's hard to destroy the man who endlessly perseveres. Perseverance is the key.
So when you sit and say, I want an easy life, what you're saying is you're a dummy and you want to be a dummy. You want to stay a dummy. I want an easy life. And I don't want anything bad to happen to me because even though it will teach me lessons, I'm too big of I can't handle the emotional pain. I can't handle the stress. So you want to stay a dumbass. I don't want to be a dummy. I want to be smart. If I want to be smart, then hurt me. I'll say this now. Of those 150,000 people, I guarantee even their fucking living relatives, their living parents aren't even proud of them. Like the fuck? Your own father's ashamed of you. And you don't even feel fucking motivated to do shit.
Chat, y'all think that's true?
It's a fucking shame. If you were to go and look your father in the eye and said, you know what, I could have been a UFC champion. I could have been a multi-millionaire. I could have been a race car driver. I could have been a fucking nuclear physicist. Could have done all these things, but I was busy on Pornhub. You think he's gonna be proud of you? Fuck no. Fuck no. And there's men here who will deny it, right? There's men who will go, no. But those are the ones who are most lost. It's the denial that's going to hold you back the most. The people who go, yes, I'm wasting my potential. Those are the ones who have potential. The ones who stand up and go, I am wasting my potential. I could be anything and I am not that yet. They have a chance. The men who go, well, no, actually, I'm fine. They're fucked. They're inside the matrix, fully slave-minded. They're a waste of time. But if you sit there and go, you know what? Yeah, I am wasting my potential. Yes, I can be more than I am. Even if I'm already great, I can be better. As good as I am, I still push myself to the limit every single fucking day. I have every single thing a man could possibly want. I'm still pushing myself. This is your prerogative as a man, but you need to be instilled with a sense of duty to your bloodline. You must want it. You need to want it deep inside your soul. I can't die as anything less than emperor. It's my destiny. What's really scary is this. I'm 37. I grew up on a council estate. I was broke for most of my life. I made all my money myself. And even I have disdain for the poor. Because I look at them and go, you didn't try at all. I did it. With all of the pain I went through and all the problems I had, while also fighting and becoming a kickboxing world champion, I still managed to do it. You started at a higher bracket than me. You started from a middle income at home. Your dad you had food. I didn't have food and I was a world champion. How did you fail so massively?
Going to the gym is a search for truth. because you can either lift that bar or you can't. That is true or false. Your strength that you hold in your own human hand is true. When you train yourself to become more capable and more deadly, that is a search for truth. Power that you feel inside of yourself is real. Money that you make, they can take it off you, yes, but when you dedicate yourself to money, sure, you can call that real, you can spend it, you can take care of people you love. Those are real things. But a lot of people are dedicating themselves to ideas or following the herd because they believe that the herd wants them to believe in these ideas. And it's very difficult to get to any kind of baseline of truth. So if I woke up and I tried to have my most honest day in the world, where I'm absolutely honest, because even me, I am self-critical enough to understand that we're all hypocritical. I'd be telling the people I love that I love them, because that's true. I'd be telling the people I care about that I care about them. But if you want to be an honest person or a good person, perhaps these are the most important things you can actually do with your day. It's train, it's dedicate yourself, work hard, make money, achieve things, love those you love. Because so much of the world is garbage. It's all a mess. It's all fucked. But if you go to the gym and you lift that weight,
and I think there's only three reasons you can't get rich in the world today, which is either you're stupid, you're lazy, or you're arrogant. And I find the most common one is lazy and arrogant. It's not stupid. There's nobody at home who is too stupid to become rich. I'm sure anyone watching this podcast right now, if you were to sit down next to me and I were to say, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, you could do it. Of course you could. But you're too lazy to learn how to do it yourself.
And you're too arrogant to listen.
And you're too arrogant to listen. It's not about being stupid. You're lazy or arrogant. It's one of the two. Those are the two most common factors of people. So when I meet people who have truly failed, and they pretend to me that they didn't want to fail, I know they're one of the three. And it's usually arrogant. Because when I sit and say to them, you could have got out, they don't say, you're right, I could have got out, I didn't try. That shows humility. They don't do that. They say, no, because it's excuse, someone else's fault, the Matrix's fault, no self-accountability. Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about anyway. Arrogance.
Sounds like feminine mindset to me.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then they're going to lose. Yeah. So I catch myself being elitist, and I try very hard not to be, because I don't consider myself a rich man. I'm a poor man with lots of money. And what's scary about being elitist is, if I'm from a Luton Council estate, and I have a bunch of money now, and I see the common man as a lazy idiot, imagine how the elites see us. And then you start to really go down the rabbit hole when you understand these people who've been in charge of the world for a very long time, who own the banks, who believe they're genetically superior to us because why not? Their families always own the bank. They can be a fat loser, but they just believe they're something because why not? They have a big boat, so that's just what they're going to believe, isn't it? Imagine how they view the common man. I believe that they have the lives they deserve because they haven't been prepared to suffer like I've suffered. If I was as lazy and incompetent as these people, I'd be like them. These people, they're not triers. I didn't even have chances that good. I wish I did. I wish I had a billionaire sitting on the internet explaining to me how the world worked. I would have done anything for that. But I've never had that chance. I had to work them all out myself, take huge monumental risks, do the nearly impossible to escape. It's easier to get rich now than it's ever been. This goes back into my mentality about the kind of person who takes risks and takes action. So then people will say to me, this is what's so amazing. People say to me, oh, how do you have all these big Addies? How do you have $100 million of cars? You're so lucky. It's not luck. It's never been luck. I've been the person who took action. And if I were to tell you right now what action to take, you won't do it. So I'm not going to feel sorry for you when you fail. I'm not going to feel sorry for losers. There is a huge percentage of the populace which they're beyond saving because they're the worst thing you can possibly be, which is a quitter. Being a quitter is the worst thing you can possibly be. God himself can't make a quitter important, because the only reason the place you're trying to get to has value is because it was difficult to reach. If everybody could reach it, there'd be no value. Value is linked to scarcity. The whole point gold is valuable is because it's not everywhere. If it was everywhere, it wouldn't have any value. The reason the place you're trying to reach is valuable is because people can't get there. So if you're the kind of person who quits, you're never going to get there. Quitters are the worst. You could give a quitter a map, a treasure map, and a hot air balloon, and say it's going to take you right to the treasure. It's going to be a 7-day journey.
Man,
here's a sandwich.
Yeah.
And halfway through they'll be like, oh, I'm cold.
Yeah, you just said that, 7 days, nah.
Yeah, and they'll quit.
Yeah.
Quitters will never make it. And there's a huge
subsect of the populace who are basically simply quitters. I've never in my life seen anyone who's determined to get something not get it. I've never seen somebody who is determined in their heart to get something not get it. The universe and God is so giving and providing. People think it's difficult out here. I disagree. I've never seen someone wake up and say, nah, this is all I care about. This is all I want. Not get it. Everyone who thought that way in fighting was a world champion. Everyone who thought that way about money was rich. I've never seen anyone fail. Bro, I've seen people with no credit score and no job determined to get an R8 manage to get one on finance somehow. I've seen it. If it's all you want, you're going to get it.
You're going to find a way to
You're
get
going to find a way.
Yeah.
People go, oh, I want this. If you wanted it, you'd have it.
Literally, I spoke to a man who had done a podcast recently, and he was saying if someone had a gun to your children's head and said to you, the only way I'm going to move this gun is by you making $1 million, you are going to make $1 million.
100%.
Yeah.
You're going to be motivated for the first time in your life. I can force this outcome. And forced outcomes are what you're always looking for in life. If you play chess, and I'm not so good, but if you do play, you understand that your calculative ability is massively increased with forced outcomes. If I make a move and he can make 3 possible reply moves, it's very difficult for me to calculate into the future. But if I make a move and it's check and he only has 1 move, and then I make another move and it's check and he only has 1 move, I can now calculate far deeper into the future because I have forced a move from my opponent. Forced moves allow you to plan for the future more effectively. So you should always be looking for forced moves in your life. You should be sitting here saying, okay, if I do this, if I go out and party tonight, 10 things can happen. I can get in a fight and die. I can get in a fight and win and get a good KO video that makes me famous on the internet, but I catch a criminal case and I go to jail for 6 years. I can meet a beautiful woman and we can fall in love and have a baby. I can meet a beautiful woman and she can break my heart and waste my time. I can get drunk for no reason. I can have a great time. I can have a bad time, etc. There's a whole bunch of outcomes. But if you say I go to the gym and I lift those weights, what happens? I get stronger. Most likely that's what's going to happen. I doubt you're going to go to the gym and lift those weights, and all of a sudden, because you lifted those weights, you're going to impress somebody who stares in the window from the outside and decides to buy you a car and you get a brand new car from the gym. That's probably not going to happen. What is going to happen is that you're going to get stronger. It's a forced move. It's a forced move, and it's a universal truth. And I am going to try, as I optimize my life, which is a permanent and never-ending task, to not only always look for forced moves, but also to be looking for the truth of all things. And I think that's what I love so much about competition, because competition is a search for truth. Who's better? Well, there's one person here and there's a person there. Who's actually better? Well, I believe I'm better because of this. You believe because you're better because of this. Okay, let's set the rules. Let's set the parameters of the competition. Let's have a competition and let's see who's true. Let's see the truth. Let's see who's better. Search for truth is a very beautiful. Let me tell you all from a position of authority, because that's how I like to speak. As somebody who's done the things you cannot do, or have yet to do, perhaps some of you can do them. It is very easy to accept an L when you've tried your best. It's easy. The reason I don't like that saying, well, as long as you tried your best, it's because most people don't try their best. If you do try your best, it's very rare you fail. In fact, it's nearly impossible. People say it's okay to lose if you tried your best. The secret to the universe is if you try your best, you hardly ever lose. It takes some freak accident or the will of God to ensure that you don't pull it off if you actually try your best. And on the few scenarios that's happened in my life, I'm happy to take the L because I can say I couldn't have tried any harder. I done my absolute best. I know I did my best. I can't try any harder. God knows more than me, and he decided that things have to be slightly different right now. That's fine. It's easy to take the L if you try your best. So if you try your best, you never feel the bitter sting of regret. You never feel the dark rankness. You never taste failure. It's never in your mouth. It's never lucid. It's never tangible. Because you approached the scenario with absolute vigor. And truthfully, Effort is a muscle, like everything else. The more you exercise it, the better it becomes. So even if you try for 100% for something and fail, you've exercised your effort muscle, which means you haven't failed because you've learned something and become better at giving effort to things. You've become better at being concentrated on a task. So it's nearly impossible to fail in these scenarios.
When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. And I say that, people laugh. I'm not joking. When I wanted money, like fucking I needed air. I am smart enough to know that money equals freedom. I needed money. And I used to sit there and just literally my hands in my head and people were like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I need money. I want money today. I would have been one of them cats that robbed a bank. If I didn't find money, by the time I was 40, I would have walked in there with a fucking shotgun. I'm not gonna live broke. Get rich or die trying. I understand that completely. But you motherfuckers are sitting there going, oh, well, yeah, I really want to be a millionaire. And then just go to sleep. Oh, get my pillow, I'm tired. Fuck. You are not uncomfortable in your position. Same thing with physical fitness. You're a fat fuck. Oh, yeah, I really need to lose weight. I know I'm going to lose weight. Why are you fat then? Getting fat does not happen slowly. Getting fat does not happen quickly. It's a slow process. You didn't fucking notice. Across a year, every time you looked in the mirror, your eyes were closed. You knew what was happening, and you were comfortable being fat, because if you weren't comfortable, you would do something about it.
There must be something clinically wrong with you people. But no matter how hard I scream down the side of the mountain, climb! Do this! Put your foot there! Don't do that! You'll slip and fall! Climb! It's great up here! You can make it! You just don't seem to want to fucking try. Perhaps God himself simply has a plan for certain people, and the plan for you was eternal regret and never-ending serfdom. Perhaps the plan for people like you was simply for you to perma-fail and lay as testament to how a life can be built on ignorance, laziness, and arrogance, so that people look at you as a warning sign of what not to be. Perhaps that's why you exist. Men like me, we exist to fight the matrix, to reproduce with 50 sons, and to resist enslavement. Men like you exist as a warning sign to all other men. Do not end up like that fucking idiot.
The fact that I believe each and every one of you is exactly where you deserve to be in life, or where you belong, or, let me change the wording, where you want to be. So if you're not a millionaire and you're not happy with your life, guess what? You are where you deserve to be. And the reason I'm going to say that is as follows. This all, I had a bad luck this, or I tried this, or I can't pull off that, blah, 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 blah. It's impossible to exist somewhere where you're not comfortable. If I were to say, lay on these red hot stones, and you tried to do it, you'd get up and move because it hurts, it's not comfortable. You have to get out of that position. Yet, if you look at your lives, your life is in a shit position, but you don't move, you don't do anything about it. So if it was really, truly uncomfortable to you, like those red hot stones were, you'd change something. But the fact you refuse to change something shows that you're pretty comfortable where you are. Now, of course, you can talk a good talk. All you motherfuckers will sit there and go, oh, but I know my life's not in order. I want to be rich and I want to be in shape and I want and I'm gonna. And then you don't do anything, which shows that you know how to talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk.
Isn't that beautiful? The simplicity of it? Isn't simplicity beautiful to say, the world is so complicated, but if I go to the gym and I lift this weight, I get stronger? Isn't that enough to give you some peace, some grounding in the chaos? For you to finally find an anchor in rough seas, for you to wake up and think, I'm going to dedicate myself and I'm going to train and I'm going to get stronger tomorrow because I trained today. And I didn't want to train and I was tired, but I did it anyway. And now I'm stronger than I was. And that is 100% definitively true. No subjectivity, no maybes, no ifs, no buts. It is a fact. And it is a fact that I have constructed, that I have made a reality myself. Like I am the constructor of the universe. Although you've done nothing but fuck up. The second best time to get started is now. I will say to you, you've missed a lot of chances, but there is still a chance left, and you can still save your bloodline. And you'll sit there and go, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then 16 minutes after this stream ends, you're gonna be back on fucking Steam, downloading COD to run around and get shot in the fucking head. Like a dipshit. You're unsavable. And then, because I talked about reflection, I also have to reflect myself. Have I become elitist now? As a man who's climbed the mountain from the very bottom, from the lowest echelons of poverty, from more poor than most of you have ever been. There was no food in my fucking fridge. Most of you are starting higher than I ever started. And now I'm at the top of the mountain looking down going, do these people just deserve to stay on the cliff face waiting for an avalanche to annihilate them? Maybe they deserve boredom. Maybe poor people deserve to be poor. Maybe all the poor people who go, I don't want to be poor, I've tried hard, are fucking lying. Maybe they're just lazy, stupid, arrogant idiots that nobody could help anyway. And if you get to know these people, they're not even nice people. And they snake their friends, and they lie, and they cheat, and they're all just dickheads. Because good people who work hard seem to always win. Why is it when I meet a good person who listens and works hard, they always fucking win? By logical extension, anyone who has not won is not a good person who works hard. That is a logical conclusion. If every good person with a good work ethic ends up a winner, and you're not a winner, then you're not a good person with a good fucking work ethic. You're a dipshit. Somewhere along the line, there's something wrong with you. Because your brain's full of shit. Because your brain's full of imaginary scenarios where that girl on Instagram replies to you. And you take her on a date. And you tell her funny jokes. And you get married. Because you're a faggot. She's never going to reply to you. You're a fucking loser. The fact you have to even imagine her showing interest in you, in and of itself, is proof, concrete evidence from the fabric of the cosmos that you're a fucking loser. I don't have to imagine girls replying to me. I don't have to, girls beg me. I just have to fucking point. You could be a someone. All you had to do was work these last few years. You could be a millionaire. You could retire. You could save your mother from being coarsened in the labor market. You could prolong the life of your loved ones with medical care. You could literally keep your parents alive longer, and you still didn't try. You still couldn't be motivated. Extra years of consciousness for the people who birthed you is somehow not as important as jerking off on Pornhub, it seems, to fucking scumbag losers like you. And you wonder why I end up in a position where I think, do poor people even ever deserve to win? And you don't feel any shame in your fucking heart? There's nothing bothering you deep inside? You sleep just fine? Everything's okay, is it? It's all, oh well, doop-dee-doo. The fuck is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't understand.
I talk to people when their lives are all fucked up, and they're like, well, my life's all fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, well, of course it is, because you're happy for your life to be fucked up. Even if you're not happy, even if you're uncomfortable, you're not uncomfortable enough to change it. If you were genuinely unhappy about your position, you would not be coming to me for motivation. If you were genuinely pissed off about your situation, you would not need me to motivate you. You would motivate your fucking self, and you would do something to change it yourself. But you don't, which says a lot. So this whole motivational shit is all garbage. All you fuckers are exactly where you belong.
You went to bed broke and slept like a fucking baby. If I knew I was gonna wake up broke, I wouldn't go to sleep. I don't want to wake up broke, ever. So if I feel like closing my eyes and having a little bit of rest is going to lead to me waking up broke, I ain't closing my eyes.